All right. So we should be getting there now. Okay. So it's got this delay. Let me,
yeah, because I'm waiting for it to pop up on YouTube.
Okay, let me do something. Turn that off. Okay, I think I got it. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I'm waiting on it to pop up on YouTube.
Okay, it should be going.
Oh, okay. I think I
got it.
Okay. Yeah, we on.
Okay. Let's see. It said 30 current viewers. Let's see if everybody's out there. Y'all out there? So let me see. Let me see. So we're trying to get this going here. So I don't see anybody in the chat window or anything. Jesus is coming back. That's the first message we get.
All right.
Oh, well, that's funny. Gone. Yeah, he's trying to spam us here. That's so
fine.
funny. All right.
Hey, Nichols Cool Kid. Good to see you again.
Hello, everybody. Energy. Hello, Black Butterfly. How's it going?
Hey, everybody.
Rhonda, how's it going? Good to see you. MF Dredson, how you doing? Let's see. Nichols Cool Kid. Hello, hello. And let's see. Yeah, and they're okay. Thank you. It's on YouTube. All right. Oh man, I figured one of the Jesus people was gonna be here. So that's all right. my trigger finger is ready because they have been out. I see. Ooh wee, man. So it's all good though. It's all good. Hello, y'all. I'm Reginald Kuakaru, and this is Voche. She's gonna be on here tonight, aka Queen Mystic. So she's gonna be talking a little bit of astrology tonight. Of course, we're talking astrology, but if you got other questions once we get through the teaching session, then you're welcome to ask those as well. So it's all good. So bring your questions. Hello, Ari Marat. How's it going? How's it going? Marion Miller, how you doing? Good to see you here. Kevin Godby, peace, peace. Martha, hey, Martha, how's it going? How's it going? So Martha's in my class, and Ari Marat also is in my class. Michael Peak, good evening. How you doing there, brother?
Hey, Julie.
So yeah, Michael's in the class, Martha. So good to see you guys here. I always love to have family here. What's up, Cedric? How you doing? How you doing? So okay. So as I said, so today again, guys, as always, this is going to be a positive chat. So you know, be nice to people in the chat, and be nice to each other, and then be nice to us too. So no, we don't want any negativity. We want this to be positive. So this is not here to debate people, because again, I know some of my Jesus people are going to be here, but this is not here to debate Jesus. Honestly, I don't care if a person believes in Jesus or not. It really, if that's their faith and they want to be there with that, more power to you. So for me, it's about teaching people something different, because I know how Christianity affected me and others. So, yeah. So it's all good. It's all good. All right. So, Voche. So let's.
Yes,
and also, if you guys hear something good, you can always do super chat. And if the chat window gets to moving too quick, guys, my eyes are old. I can't watch that stuff scrolling up real fast. So y'all got to help me.
I'm gonna try to keep up here with my computer.
Yeah,
but yeah.
So I'm trying to watch all that, man. And all of a sudden, somebody typed this big long message. Keep the messages short, because if you type those big long ones, I can't read all of that. So keep the messages short. What's up, Moonfae? Hello, Jason. How you doing, brother? How you doing? Good to see you. All right. Family is here. Bathius, how you doing? All right. And Brian Green, good to have you here. Said this is his first time here. So good to have you here. Welcome. Energy Shift. Hello. Let's see. And Lavelle Barrett. All right. Ager. All right. Okay. So going to do a little bit of astrology. So this is about going to be about you and your birth chart. So the birth chart is a very, very powerful tool. So my daughter she is an extraordinary reader, and she does this. Does these all the time. So I'm going to let her talk to you about them. And so I'll be asking a few little questions here and there, kind of like an interview type of a deal. And then we'll get to some questions, okay? So Voche,
yes.
Go ahead and can you tell me, I guess the first question is for people that might not know, what is a birth chart about? What is a birth chart?
Well, a birth chart is like your game plan that your soul decided on before incarnating. So we have a few spiritual modalities on earth that kind of help us guide us through life. And for each of us, we have a different purpose, a different path, different energy we want to express and experience. And your birth chart describes your individual path, your potential, your gifts, what you came here to express, experience, achieve. And through your birth chart, it's like your soul's fingerprint, your soul's blueprint. Through your birth chart, I can help you decipher what direction to move forward in, what would be best for you, as far as what you want to achieve in this life as a whole. Your birth chart helps you look at the bigger picture of your life, your specific life, your individuality, and how you can express yourself to your highest potential.
Okay.
So that's what.
So, go ahead.
No, I was just to say that's what a birth chart.
Okay. So you're saying that it helps you to kind of figure out your highest potential, and I like the analogy of it being like a cheat code, like you have for games.
Right. So cheat codes, when we think of, I like to think of life like The Sims. I'm not sure if any of you guys have ever heard of the game called The Sims, but it's literally you create a character that is you, and you move this character through life and achieve things that you decide that they want to achieve or experience. So think of our higher selves as the one controlling our Sims character. And from the higher perspective, from our perspective, we can't see the big picture. We can only see what's in front of us. We only have the present moment. But with our birth chart, what our birth chart helps us do, since it does have the cheat codes, is every person has 3 points in their chart that brings about adversity, pain, struggle, and trauma. And when you know why you attract certain things, or why your soul wants to learn or experience this adversity or these hardships, you learn how to navigate them, not only navigate them, but turn your pain into your power. Okay. Because we learn the best through adversity. But in the moment, or if we're in it, we're in the mud, we're in the trenches, you know, we might not be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, or we're like, why am I going through this? You know, I know in Christianity, especially, like people who question if there is a God ask, well, why is there suffering? Why is there pain? Why do we have to go through these certain things? And our birth chart shows us what we have to go through as well as what we have to gain from what we go through and what we're experiencing. What are you laughing at, Dad?
No, I was just looking at Jason. He said he was asking, man, is Sim still around? I'm getting old.
I know, right? I didn't realize that might be a throwback term.
Yeah, that was probably a good throwback there.
Yeah.
So tell me this on the so I know the birth charts are really good for helping you kind of maneuver things. Now, I like to use analogy of like having a soul perspective. You know, that the soul is on the mountaintop, and then like we're in the valley. Okay, so we're on the mountaintop. The soul is on the mountaintop. We're in the valley. In the valley, we can't see too far ahead, but the soul can see farther ahead. And the birth chart can kind of give you a soul perspective, right?
Right, exactly. So we use the analogy of a video game, but I also like, my favorite analogy is a movie. Like, my life is a movie. We're all here to create art. And from that perspective, how can I remember we were talking about, well, me and you were talking about knowing yourself is one of the most important things that you can do in this lifetime, because your psychology, the way you think, is what is producing your reality. So when we're born, we forget that we are gods. We forget that we are all powerful creators, and life, the journey of life, is coming back to remembering that we are gods, remembering what we are capable of, and that we have the power to create our reality and really do whatever we want on this earth plane. And so from the perspective,
what you just described about the forgetting, that's actually the symbolic way of death. So that's what they use for the idea of death, that they just forget that omnipotence.
Right. So throughout our life, and throughout each checkpoint, we get closer to remembering. We get closer to actualizing our potential if we have the courage to face the roadblocks put in front of us. So think of it as the hero's journey. So in the movie, the player always starts out kind of learning from their environment. They embrace their environment, they learn from their environment, they participate in their environment. And then when you get from the ages of 20 to 30, that's when you're able to look at your conditioning and decide what you want to change, how you want to apply your individuality to your life, and how you want to move forward. So then the journey begins to unlearn that conditioning, unlearn what we were forced to believe, and adopt our own beliefs that serve our individual goal and our individual purpose. So throughout our birth chart, it shows our life in phases, and it shows what we will encounter in those phases and how they'll make us feel, how they'll make us think, how it develops our character. So
let me ask you this. So if so with a birth chart, like it's like a snapshot of when you entered into this plane, right? So in that snapshot, in a way, it gives you your gifts, and it gives you your the trials and stuff, or it's going to tell you some of the roadblocks that you might encounter, right? Right. But you have all the gifts you need to overcome the roadblocks.
Exactly. And as you overcome each roadblock, it's like you get more of your power. It's like activation, or you qualify at each stage or each level. If you apply it back to a video game, you qualify for more powers, more gifts, a higher expression of your gifts and your individuality as you learn, as you achieve growth, as you learn those lessons.
Right. Gotcha. So what are some of the things that ends up keeping people from really getting to know thyself? What happens with that, or what are some of the things that keep you from doing that?
So as I briefly touched on, conditioning, societal conditioning, what we try to conform to what is expected of us, what other people have done before us. Especially with religion, there's like this blueprint laid out of what a perfect human being should be, or the road that a perfect human being should walk down. And we are all individuals. And so having that one blueprint, it forces us to challenge what we were taught. So things that can hold us back from actualizing our potential is living up to others' expectations versus living up to our own, or deciding what we expect from ourselves, limiting beliefs about our abilities, because most of us may have these big dreams, but we feel like, who am I to believe that I can achieve that? Who am I to believe that, I deserve that type of life? Those limiting beliefs of, self-worth or lack of self-love, as well as living in survival mode versus embracing the unknown, embracing change. And a lot of people search for security, or they want to know that with security, live in their comfort zone. Great way to put it. I love the way you put that. Yeah. So people want to live in their comfort zone, but with comfort, there is no growth. Okay. It creates stagnation, but fear tends to keep people from achieving or even having the courage to go for their highest potential. So
because they're afraid. Fear is like it's a roadblock. It's a chain. So people live in fear. But and it's the thing. And going back to like just the hero's journey. The like you were saying earlier, the soul comes in with their soul contracts, and the soul contracts are the things that you already connect with other souls before coming to basically let you know what you're going to experience. You know, and if you live in a way that that you're afraid to step out, because really the change, a soul always learns through opposites. And what I mean by that is that if you are if you are contracted to learn self-love, then you're going to be in relationships where they don't value you. And as a hero, you have to overcome that. That's part of the journey. So the soul is going to learn through opposites.
Right. And with a birth chart, there's levels of potential, okay? And the choice is yours. So we all have free will, and the choice is yours as to what level you want to actualize your potential. So you can live, there are properties or tools in your birth chart that'll allow you to live a comfortable life or do the bare minimum, and you'll still survive. You'll still, accomplish certain things, or learn certain things, because we can't be here and not learn. But there is also a path that may be slightly more challenging, but also more rewarding. So it really just depends on you as a person, okay? Because all the tools are there, as you said before. We chose our life, we chose our incarnation, and from the higher perspective, we would not send ourselves down here to fail, or we would not set ourselves up for failure. So we have all the tools that we need within us already to be the hero at the end and conquer that hero's journey. It's literally up to you. It's all your choice.
And that's where the cheat codes come in for the birth chart. They can help guide you to that. Yeah. No, that's really powerful, and a lot of people, they think that, we come in as victims, and I know as Black people, a lot of times we consider ourselves, we're because of being in the white supremacist and racism type of society, we consider ourselves the outcast. And I hear a lot of people talk about we've been cursed and stuff like that, but in reality, when you're born into this earth, you're never a victim. You chose where you are, you know?
Exactly.
And you have the power to overcome. You have the gifts to overcome. But if yourself a victim is powerless, and they feel like they're powerless. And a victim can only hope the perpetrator can change.
Right.
And as long as we're in that type of mode of thinking, all of humanity, I don't care if you're black or white, whichever side of the fence that you're on, if you continue to think in victim perpetrator mode, you're going to be held at a low level of consciousness always. And that's where, as humanity, we have to rise above that. You know, we have to figure out what we need to do to rise above that. But we have to do it from the perspective of knowing ourselves to be gods and goddesses.
Yes, exactly. Very well put. I love the way you put that. Most definitely.
Thank you. So was there anything else? So I'm sure people's going to be ready to ask some questions. Was there anything else specific that you wanted to mention before we get to the questions?
Actually, no. I think we hit on some good stuff. I'd love to open the floor up and see what people want to ask.
Can you predict the future with a birth chart?
So there are types of birth charts that are predictive. Vedic astrology uses predictive birth charts, but I use the Placidus system. And the Placidus system is centered around your psychology and what you will attract through your mind. And I don't like to predict because there's so many possibilities, so many things can change. I can lay the seeds in front of you and tell you what you have the ability to grow and manifest, but for me, ethically, I don't believe in telling someone what their future is going to be, because at the end of the day, the choice is yours 100%. So yes. I can look and tell you what's there. But what you choose to create is up to you. That's what this whole channel is about, right? Is knowing your power. And by me telling you what your future is going to be like, that's giving it away, you know? So I'm putting the power in your hands for you to create the life that you want. Okay. So
and even with that, you can predict somebody's future from the energy that they are at right now.
Right.
But if that energy changes, then it changes their future too.
Right.
So you always have the ability to create something different. Michael Peaks, thank you, brother. Gave $10. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Michael.
Hey, I know, so you appreciate that. So most definitely. So appreciate those gifts. But that's one of the things that we come here to realize when we incarnate on this planet, is that we have the ability to create. And again, most people, and especially, you know, us that have come from the church background, we're really taught that we have to wait on the Savior, you know, our power is outside of us. And that's where we have to take that power back, you know, and do that. So okay.
Got some good questions in here.
All right, let's see. Well, so go ahead. What's the first one?
I'm just going to say the one I saw first, but I'll scroll through and get to you other guys. So Jay Money asks, so you telling me a child born with some life-threatening disease is a victim or has whatever they need to overcome?
Good question.
So that is a great question. So children is a sticky topic when it comes to spirituality, but usually when a child is sick, it's a lesson for the parents. Is what I've experienced. And there's always a lesson in pain, and there's always a brighter perspective or a perspective that can lead to an expansion. And there's a perspective that leads to victimization. But from the big picture, it's all divinely orchestrated. Nothing is coincidence. Yeah. Nothing is accident.
Right. No, and I think your perspective on it's a lesson. It can be a lesson for the parents. So there's any number of combinations that can be infinite. But when usually when the child is born with an illness, that's usually something contracted, and is contracted for a reason.
Right.
So there's never a victim. So there's always a reason that this has happened. So there are so many different scenarios that a soul can come into the world. There's even scenarios where souls might incarnate into a fetus, but that birth might be terminated before the child is born. And that soul simply wanted to experience what it was like to be in the physical, So there's many different reasons that souls would incarnate, and diseases and stuff like that. So everything that you might even incarnate to, so you might incarnate with a birth defect where you might be a Down syndrome child or something, and you incarnate that so you can tamp down on a certain aspect of your personality, maybe your intelligence, so you can experience things more freely emotionally. So there's different reasons why you would incarnate. Okay, so all the time. So never a victim. Nobody. Thank you, Janelle, for that $10. Thank you very much.
Greatly appreciate you. So Jason asked, do you have to have any specific abilities to do readings for other people? So great question, Jason. I can't speak for others, but I do use my psychic, intuitive, and empathic abilities to do my readings. So when I do a reading for someone, I set the intention, say a prayer, however you want to word that, whatever works for you, to manifest the highest good of all involved. Because at the end of the day, I want you to get the absolute most out of your reading, because I believe everyone I do a reading for was divinely sent to me. And I want to do my absolute best to make sure that they receive the message that they were meant to receive from me or through me. So what I like to do during my readings is I channel you, I channel your guides, I channel your ancestors, and I allow them into the reading to interact with both me and you, and give me messages, give me signs, give me clues, let me know triggers, let me know what you have to say. I mean, what I need to say to you, as well as I love for my readings to be interactive. So it's never just me talking at you or just, looking at your chart and telling you everything I see. I'm literally talking about your life. I'm talking about you, and I want your feedback. I love hearing about you guys' life experiences. If I touch on something that is accurate, which, not to brag, but my readings usually are, I like to get your feedback on it and share it with me. And when you share your experience with me, I get more information and more insight. It's like or
you're saying like a portal opens up more?
Yeah, it's like a feedback. So yes, I do use my psychic and intuitive abilities to channel messages from spirit for you guys. So you get the absolute most out of your reading.
Awesome. Yeah, it can be very powerful. Very powerful. So Harry Morgan, Harry Morgan up the entity, gave $20. Thank you, Harry. All right. And Martha, hold up. I'm going to do a dance. Martha just gave $100.
Martha! Wait a minute. Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you, Martha.
Martha.
Love it. I'm feeling the love.
Let me do one of those old things. Won't he do it?
Won't he will? Yes. Let's see. I'm looking for you guys' questions. Let's see.
Yeah, so we're looking back here. Let's go back. So we're going back here, guys, trying to see if there were some other questions.
Daddy, someone asked, was there birth charts in Kemet, or is that just occult knowledge? Bronze Yogi asked that.
Was it in Kemet?
Yes. So I'm guessing
that's where astrology started. And so this is what a lot of people don't realize, is that the idea of the 12 disciples are at one level. It's about really psychological archetypes. Okay, so those psychological archetypes are the 12 archetypes are what follows the personality that is Jesus. And Jesus is simply the idea that you're becoming enlightened, or the Christ is that you're becoming enlightened. And you have to travel through those 12 archetypes. So the birth chart and all of that, yes. I mean, that was definitely a part of Kemet. So Future Hunter, $50. Woo-wee.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
All right. Yes.
Okay.
But that's what a lot of people don't realize, is that these ideas that are biblical, they're just deeper. There's some deeper knowledge underneath. And because we've been told that it was historical, man, it shuts us out. But if you really understand the ideas of the Christ, and again, that's something that, you watch a lot of my videos, I get into detailing and teaching those concepts. So how the ancients meant them to be taught, and that'll help throw off a lot of those religious shackles, So, but yes, the birth chart started in well, I don't know if it started in Kemet, but I definitely know that was something that was a part of it.
Mm-hmm. So Denise Carter asked, will she be talking about the North Node and the South Node? And what is the North Node used for? So that's a great question. So in astrology, there are 2 points in your chart, the North Node and the South Node, which she talked about. The South Node describes the qualities or characteristics that you've mastered or dealt with in a past life, either mastered or maybe even need to come away with. It just depends on the workings of your chart and how those points are aspected. So if the South Node is energy you've either mastered or need to come away from or learn from, the North Node is an energy that you're working toward, the energy that you're learning and the energy you're expanding through. So the North Node and the South Node are always in sister signs, meaning that on the astrological wheel, they are directly opposite from another. So it's like a seesaw. Imagine them being a seesaw effect. So it's a balancing act between embodying and utilizing the characteristics, skills, and things you've learned from a past life, as well as building on those skills, building on that, your talents, or coming away from those skills or learning a different perspective. And that energy is your North Node, what you're working toward. And the North Node is a very useful point if you are wanting to know what you need to kind of hone in on or focus your energy on. So for example, my North Node is in Sagittarius. So I am learning how to be open and speak my truth and just continue to expand and help those around me expand. So Sagittarius is very expansive energy. So wherever your North Node is placed, describes the energy that you are learning to express in this life.
So Cedric says, where can I get this chart from? Cedric, that's what she does for you as in the readings. So she pulls that chart up for you, and you give her your information that's needed, and then she just pulls that chart up for you, and then she does the reading from that.
Yeah. So I just linked my page in the chat for those of you who are interested in signing up for a birth chart reading. I have been receiving an influx of readings, and I am now operating on a first come, first serve basis. So when you sign up for a reading from me, we will book your appointment right then. And since it is first come, first serve, the earlier you book, the sooner your reading will be, and then so forth. So just keep that in mind if you are interested in signing up for a birth chart. Is spots is getting slim, so don't wait on it.
All right. Okay, yes. And I like something here that Davita James said the soul signs up for lessons before incarnating. The child is that soul. Age doesn't matter when it comes to life experiences and what the soul signed up for before incarnating. So I like that. So that was a good take on that.
Yes, I love that.
So
and Sin 47, thank you. Greatly appreciate you once again. Showing the love.
Yes. Showing the love. Much appreciated. Most definitely. Absolutely. Man, you guys are great tonight. Thank you so much.
Man, thank you so much.
And New Energy says she's really good. So New Energy actually did get a reading from her, right? Right,
yes,
New Energy?
Yes, she did. I remember your face and oh my God, I remember you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
And Eric's from Stockholm, Sweden. So thank you for being here, Eric. You have a good night or good morning. Let's see.
Someone asked, Voche, what is the spirit by name you pray to before reading? I don't pray. I set an intention. So I just talk to my spirit team. I call them my spirit team because I have 3 guides who work with me, and I have various
I got 3 guys who work with me.
You said what, Danny?
I have 3 guides as well that work with me.
Right.
And I think that's because I'm so damn hard-headed.
I wear them out. Help.
They need extra help.
Yeah. So I pray to the God within me. I pray to, or I set intentions for everyone involved. All of the energy that I will be interacting with, I communicate with the energy. My guides have names, but I talk to them collectively as my spirit team, you know, and I call on them. Their way of speaking to me is sending chills, or I get inner sensations that let me know they're there. They got my back always. They're my people. Well, I guess they're not people, but they're my team.
We understand what you're saying. So Janelle Swaggery asked, says, would the astrology birth chart show similar or same info as a numerological birth chart, or are they the same? So good questions.
Great question. Because if you are one of those people who do not know your birth time, I love to recommend astrology reading, because just like in astrology,
you mean a numerology reading if they don't know.
I'm sorry, a numerology reading. But just like in astrology, the signs have archetypes. It's the same for numbers. Numbers have archetypal energies, energetic expressions. And the way you read a numerology chart is based on your name, as well as your birthday, because they both contain numeric codes that express what type of energy you want to experience in this life. So I recommend one of my favorite aspects about the numerology reading is that it shows you what to expect within each phase of your life, just as well as astrology does. So if your birth chart gives you the bigger picture with the ability to read detail, your numerology chart does the exact same thing, but with numbers. So they're both extremely accurate, both amazing spiritual modalities. One is not more accurate than the other. So if you do not have your birth time, don't feel like you're getting a lesser deal if you get a numerology chart, because it's just as amazing. I wouldn't vouch for it if it wasn't. And once again, my goal is to be able to guide whoever is sent to me in the best direction for them. And numerology is a great tool to do that as well. So I hope that answered the question.
Okay, and let's see. Somebody asked, man, see, it's going so fast now. Let's see. Tent Braille asked, is Heka really the first magic? It's one of the first, or the name of what the ancient Egyptian and commissions call magic. We can't say if it was the first magic or not, because humanity has been around for a long time. So more than likely it is not, because all of the stuff that Kemet, that we know of in Kemet, those are things that traveled up the Nile River for thousands of years. So they honed them. So I can't say that if it made it to Kemet, most likely there are other older African systems that were doing it way before Kemet was. So Kemet is not the oldest system. I believe Yoruba and Ifa is an older system than the Kemetic system. Okay, so they probably, and Africa shared a lot of the same spiritual concepts, in just different names. I'm sorry, I lost some questions, man.
I found some. Don't worry, I got you, Daddy.
Okay, thank you.
I Heart You asks, is it better to get a tarot reading or an astrology reading? Which one gives the best info to follow? So, two separate things. So a tarot reading, I like to use tarot readings as guidance for a specific life issue or what you're going through right now. So tarot is for the right now. Birth chart is for the big picture, overall long-term goals and how you want to proceed in life. And once again, tarot is for the present, what you're dealing with right now, what you need clarity with right now as far as how to move forward. So you said which one gives the best info to follow? Both are great tools for guidance. So you can't go wrong with either. It just depends on what you're looking for. And which one you feel guided to pursue. Yeah.
So all of it in divination, it really works that you're really connecting with your energy in the moment, and you can get answers for that in the moment. So Jeray Dublin, hey Jeray, what you doing, girl?
Bestie, hey bestie. That's so, my best friend, y'all.
So Jeray says, my question is, how are two people's birth chart who are born on the same day and the same time have different interpretations? And Vo, how do your abilities enhance the
Oh, amazing.
Good questions.
So, a great example of someone who's born at the exact time and has the same alignment are twins. And this is actually something that I've recently studied that I didn't even talk to her about. So it's really, we be telepathically here. So I'm not even surprised that she picked up on that because I was curious to this as well. So what I learned is that twins are two halves of, they're individuals on their own, but they incarnated together because they have the puzzle pieces for each other. They feed off of each other in order to accomplish their goals. So what I noticed is that one twin, or what I've studied, is that one twin is like the starter, the initiator, the more outgoing one, the kind of like the sun, okay? And the other twin, usually the second born, is the one who's kind of more laid back, more intellectual, more introverted, introspective, likes to finish
things. Let me say is now they're born minutes apart, right? So the planets and stars are in constant motion all the time.
Right.
So even a second difference, there's a fraction of a difference in where those planets are, and it changes the energy. So you have an infinite number of positions of the planets even if it's just a second here on Earth.
But what the exact time does is it alters your ascendant. So your ascendant is what maps your entire chart, and that is why the timing of birth is so important. So if you were born, so I would say depending on the degree, 10 minutes could make a big difference as far as your ascendant sign goes. And depending on, how can I put that? Yeah, so the planets don't move that fast within minutes, but your ascendant sign does. So that is where that comes in with two people who are born at the exact same time.
Okay. So Harry Hogan says, is twin flames a real thing, and is there such a thing as soulmates?
Woo.
Woo-wee.
You taking that one, or am I?
Okay, I can start. All
right, yeah.
So twin flames is the idea that one soul has split in half. Okay. Now, personally, I don't subscribe to that idea, because a soul comes in with masculine and feminine aspects. And when I say masculine and feminine, that is not gender. That is basically a function. Okay. Feminine is our inward function, and whether you are male or female, you have an inner feminine function. Okay. So our intuition, our tapping into our emotions, stuff like that is the function of the feminine. And of course, the outward directed things are the masculine. So that to me, that to me doesn't speak to that they're of the twin flame idea. Now, other people might see that different, okay? But with the soulmate, now I definitely believe that there are soulmates, but it might be a little bit different than most people think about them, because we have like I would just call it like a pod of souls that we incarnate with over and over. Okay, that pod of souls might be about 15 souls that you incarnate over and over. Those are all soulmates and all possibilities of soulmates. That doesn't mean that you all incarnate the same time, okay, at the same time. But that soulmate can also be a close friend. That soulmate can be a parent. That soulmate can be a child. So soulmates are not just romantically related. But when they are romantically related, a lot of people think that when you meet a soulmate, that it's all peaches and cream and that it's glorious and that it's just like wonderful, But that is just not the truth, because you can meet a soulmate and you can love so deeply that it touches every insecurity within you. And when it does that, it can set off a whole lot of things between you and that soulmate, and it can rock things pretty bad, So the idea that that there's this one person that you're supposed to be a soulmate with, I don't agree with that idea.
Right.
I think there's many possibilities of soulmates.
Yeah, there's karmic soulmates too. I've witnessed those type of relationships. It could get pretty ugly. So for everyone that's one of the questions I get a lot in birth chart is when am I going to meet my soulmate, or soulmate question. It's like, be careful what you ask for, because once again, that they come with challenges. Soulmates force you to grow. They're not coming in this life to create comfort for y'all to just skip down a rainbow on a yellow brick road, whatever you want to do. But it's challenging. Your soulmates challenge you.
Okay. And let's see, Davita James says, do you do astrocartography? I am thinking of repatriation to Africa, and I would like to know, based on my chart, what country would be the best fit.
I'm not sure what astrocartography is. Y'all might have to school me on that one.
Yeah, I think this has just to do, cartography is like maps.
Okay.
So dealing with maps. So I'm sure like what areas are and their energies are best. So I'm sure that's probably what that's about. So I just know cartography is about maps.
Okay, well, no, Davita James, I do not do astrocartography, but you just gave me something to research, and I appreciate that.
And you're welcome, Harry. So Harry says very informative. So you're welcome. And
Thank
see
you,
that what soulmates and twin flames are about. Okay, and let's see. Soulmate mix. Yeah. So Martha says that was good, Reginald. My sister, who passed away, was my soulmate. Makes sense. Yeah. Your sister can be soulmates. Man, twins are usually soulmates. So that's very, very, or identical twins, I should say, are usually soulmates.
But what your birth chart can tell you, for those of you asking about your partner or someone who would ideally complement you, there are placements in your chart that I'm able to interpret to tell you what qualities and characteristics the ideal person would have for you to, and I'm not going to use the term soulmate, but a very happy relationship. I could tell you what characteristics that person would have.
Awesome. Let me see. I'm going back up here. See if there's any other questions.
Someone asked, are Aries and Gemini a good match? Asking for a friend. James Redding asked that. So
are what now?
He said, are Aries and Gemini a good match? So with compatibility, you can't just go by your sun signs, because there could be other placements in your chart that are compatible. Whereas Air and fire, you know, it's a very interesting combination. Air and fire usually are compatible. I would say yes, go for it. Try it out. Fire, because if you think about the elements, fire is expressive, creative, and air is intellectual, and group oriented. Okay, so fire and air complement each other.
All right. Yeah. And people should understand too that the signs again, they're archetypes. Mm-hmm. But if you want to work out a relationship with somebody, the sign really doesn't matter.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So there are certain combinations that just excuse me. There are certain combinations that will naturally get along better, or mm-hmm. they are smoother working together. But then there are other ones that it might be, it's going to take a little bit of work. Say like fire and water. Fire can heat up water real quick. Okay. Yeah. Water can douse fire. Okay. Mm-hmm. So in those instances, the relationships those people, depending on other placements in their birth chart, those people might have a tough time working together, but they might have placements that help them to work through the stuff, you know? So don't take it like people say, oh, you with this sign, you shouldn't be that sign. No, don't do that. You know,
yeah,
so no. Everybody can work, you know, if
most definitely.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Thank you, Daquan. Appreciate you.
Florian Law asks, can a birth chart be done without knowing the time you were born?
No. Once again, your birth chart maps your houses. So without your birth time.
So let me ask this: why is the time so important?
Because your birth chart, so your time maps your houses, it maps your ascendant. Without your birth time, all I know is the signs that your planet is in, but I don't know where they are placed in the areas of life, because your birth chart is divided in 12 sections, and each section is an area of life. So with your birth time, I know where those planets are placed in which houses. Without your birth time, all I know is what sign the planet is in. So there's a cocktail needed to interpret a birth chart, and that's the house, the sign, and the planet. So without your birth time, I don't have the house, which is huge as far as accuracy goes. I can tell without your birth time, I can just tell you characteristics, but it's a large chunk of it is missing. So I prefer not to do birth charts without the birth time, just because of the quality that I want to produce. I'm not sure what other astrologers do. But once again, for those of you who do not have a birth time, I recommend a numerology chart, which I spoke on earlier in the live. So
yeah, and that can be just as helpful, because it tells you about the phases of energy that you're going through at different points in your life. Mm-hmm. So that can be very helpful, especially even for older people, because you know your numerology reading can be very helpful for you, because you can look back on the phases, and then you can look and see the phase that you're getting ready to go into and stuff like that. So
right. Well, right. I agree. For my older clients, I do recommend a numerology chart over a birth chart, because once again, the birth chart is your psychology. It's what it shows you what you're going through. But if you're already, in the second half of life, it's like re-going over information you already know, in a sense. And numerology focuses on what you need to focus on right now. So this is what it would benefit you to focus on moving forward in order to get the best out of life.
All right. Okay. See, Untouchables was asking to talk about Aries. Actually, there's one of the lives we did before. Which one was it, on the Divine Feminine? Yeah. That we went through, and Voche went through the signs pretty extensively, Untouchables. So check out that reading, and I know she did that not that reading, but check out that live. And she did that, and you can go through and see that she talks about all the signs there.
Yeah. Martha asked, what age is older?
Oh, Martha, Martha trying to start something, man.
I believe age is part of societal conditioning, and you should act the way you feel. Don't act your age. Act your shoe size. Nah.
Right. So no. I say, so age-wise, what about 50?
55 and up, I would say.
55 and up. Okay. Yeah. So it would be better for 55 and up to get a numerology reading.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. Agree. Yes.
So so Jeray asks, so I understand that your birth chart can tell you how psychic you are inclined to be. How does that work? And how can I use that info to my benefit?
So there are placements. So when I'm looking at your chart, I'm looking at your gifts, and not just, that you can draw or that you're athletic, but once again, we're analyzing your psychology. So there are placements in your chart that let me know. First of all, everyone is psychic. Every single person on this planet has psychic ability.
Right.
But just like everyone can run, not everybody is fast. So your chart can tell you how many psychic placements you have, because there are certain placements that suggest stronger psychic ability. And so I can calculate kind of how psychic you are, or even if you have ancestral gifts that have given you psychic powers that you've earned from previous lifetimes, and through doing good, you've brought that into this lifetime. So how can you use it to your ability?
No, go ahead.
She asked, how can I use that to my ability? So when I look at your chart, depending on the sign, the planet, and the house that it's in, I can tell you exactly how to practice your psychic ability, or what elements it would benefit you to work with in order to enhance your psychic ability. Because once again, the recipe is completely different for everyone, and not everyone receives metaphysical messages in the same way. So depending on the energy within your chart, I can let you know what it would be best for you to focus on to enhance or increase, or kind of already feed in, because sometimes we don't even realize that we are psychic or do psychic things because we don't have a name for it, or we think everyone thinks like that. But with your chart, I can point out what is specifically attuned to your abilities.
Right.
Great question.
And understand, and I want to explain to people what psychic abilities are. Mm-hmm. And as you said earlier, Voche, everybody has psychic abilities. And what psychic abilities are is your soul experiencing through you. Okay. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people think that you can only experience your soul after you die, but that's not true. Your soul perceives through you at all times. So the abilities that we call psychic are really abilities connected to you as a soul. Mm-hmm. So the ability to see beyond, see into the future, or to the intuitively connect with people and stuff like that. All of that is soul stuff. You might be more gifted in one area than another person because of how your energy is constructed.
Right.
But everybody has soul, or everybody has psychic abilities. You just have, sometimes we have to figure out what that is. And sometimes, depending on, what families we're in like that, a lot of us might figure out those things as children. But other people, they might discount them, because in our society, especially Western society, we discount the intuitive. We don't tap into it a lot of times.
Mm-hmm. So signs that are naturally intuitive and psychic right off the bat are water signs. So that's Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces are known for their psychic and empathic ability, because water deals with the emotions and sensing. So it's very easy for water signs to
what is use their psychic ability.
An empath. So an empath is someone who feels emotions or picks up information or knows how a person is feeling without them needing to verbally express it. Empaths pick up on energy. They read energy first. That is their first language, as well as body language and just picking up on information that is not given orally, and
picking
applying it to knowing how someone feels. Right, picking up on energies. Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of people sometimes empaths, and I know I'm an empath, but people that are empathic can pick up on people's energies, and a lot of times you don't know if it's you or somebody else.
Yes.
And until you figure out what's going on, until you know that you're an empath, a lot of times you might be in a crowd and you start to feeling a certain way, and you don't know why. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that means that you're just picking up on somebody's energy strongly. So I can literally pick up on people's energies that I connect with here in chat. So people that I'm chatting with, a lot of times I can feel, especially if a person is like kind of an agitated type individual, I can usually pick up on that pretty quickly, you know. But the more subtle the energy is, the more you have to just kind of tap into it. But but an empath is somebody who can pick up on energetic people's energies and how people are feeling and stuff like that. And the biggest thing I have to say is that you have to be able to discern what's yours and what's somebody else's.
When I first started doing birth chart readings, it took me a while to realize that when I'm studying the chart, I'm tapping into whoever's chart I'm studying. So I'm tapping into their energy. And when I tap into their energy, I feel whatever they're going through. I feel their pain, their excitement, their anger, all of it, the anxiety. I feel everything when I'm going through your chart, when I'm studying your energy as well as your blueprint. So empath can be a superpower, especially if you're in the healing business. But for those of us who are just, in everyday life, it's very important for us to clear our energy and just be mindful of, others' energy and create that barrier within your energetic domain.
And I see somebody, let's see, who is this? I've heard Wayfinder, what does Lilith mean? And Wayfinder, that's something I have never studied. So I've heard people talk about Lilith, but it's not something that I've tapped into. So I'll have to check into that. But I couldn't tell you. So I'll just have to say I don't know. So I couldn't tell you anything about that right now.
Yeah, I don't use Lilith in my calculations, and I don't feel like I know enough about it to tell you guys about it or share with you guys about it. So I'm gonna leave that topic alone as well.
And Julie asks, she says, after a tremendous exchange of energy during a reading, how do you recalibrate?
Ooh, I go in hibernation mode. So I breathe, I meditate, I sage, and kind of just close that energetic door, so to speak. And readings take a lot out of me. So I can only do one reading a day. And after that reading, I'm usually pretty drained because once again, I'm channeling. So I just need to nap or like sleep for like 12 hours straight or something like that. But really just, I go into hibernation after readings.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just really just mentally, well, not mentally because I feel instead of think, but just clear out, set the intention to clear out my energetic domain.
And let's see. So Untouchables asks, why does the church teach against astrology? Oh my goodness. Because if you really figured out what Jesus and the disciples and all of that was about, astrology would take the cover off of all of that real quick. So when we're talking about the Son of God, and the Jesus traveling around with the disciples, all of that stuff is astrology, every bit of it. So they do not want you to find out that information because it'll take the cover off of what they scare the hell out of everybody with. That's basically it. Let's see.
And then isn't it a quote, know thyself and know God?
Yeah.
But it's in Christianity, God is outside of you. So that contradicts
Well, that's a Kemetic. That's an old Kemetic saying. So know thyself and know the gods. Meaning that if you go within, you tap into everything that the universe is basically what that means. So the universe, everything about the universe is inside you. And when you can know you intimately, then you know the universe. So that's one way to look at that.
Right.
Okay. Let's see. So
Martha, were you saying your birthday just passed, or is it coming?
Said it's Friday. It's coming Friday.
It's Friday. You want your reading done on Friday? Martha, that's short notice.
So you have to hustle, man.
Get with me. Let's see what we can do for you.
Yeah, that's it takes a lot for her, guys. I know when she's doing those readings and putting those things together, she's working hours putting those things together. So they're not like you could just pull up something and then she can start telling you. She's researching you, literally.
Yeah. I wait to get. So I like to it says I take 3 to 5 business days. That's also so I can get information, throughout the days go. As the days go on, I continue to receive information because I'm keeping that window of energy open. Someone asked a good question. They asked if I get information from the guides that I wouldn't get from the person doing a reading. Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Are there really some details the spirit guides will tell you not to tell the person you're doing a reading for? So I do use discernment in how I relay the message, but if it comes through me, I'm saying it. So I don't believe in keeping things from my client. And if the information was given to me during the reading, then I do word it in a way that would be most helpful, but I'm gonna tell you. So I don't believe in keeping information from you guys, because that is why you were sent to me in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
and Denise Carter asked, do you do beginner classes for astrology and numerology?
That may be something in the works, but as of right now, no, ma'am, I do not. But what I do offer is consultation. So for those of you who are already into astrology and are actively studying your chart, want to learn it, you can sign up for a consultation with me and ask me my opinion on a certain placement, or I can, you have notes or ask me questions. Basically, you can ask me questions about your chart or something that you need clarity on, for those of you who don't need an entire reading. So yeah, I do offer consultations for those of you who are learning on your own.
Okay, so in other words, if they get their own birth chart, then you can help them with it.
Yes, help. Emphasis on help.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. All right. Woo-wee. Man, you guys have had some great questions tonight.
Yes.
Professor X says, how can I get a reading from you?
I'm about to post my my site in the chat right now. Bam, there it is. Once again, readings with me are first come, first serve. So there is my link, and I look forward to hearing from you guys who are interested. And
here is her information where you guys can reach her. So Instagram, Snapchat, Cash App. Mm-hmm. So that's where you can reach Vo Vibes. So yes. Vo Vibes.
Thank you, Sun King. I appreciate that. Sorry, Dad. Go ahead.
Let's see. What do you thought in Emerald Tablet? Vizon, what are your your thoughts on Thoth and the Emerald Tablets? I've looked at those repeatedly, and honestly, I'm kind of skeptical of the Emerald Tablets, because they don't all the time seem to line up metaphysically with a lot of ideas. So I'm not like throwing them out necessarily yet, but the information, the interpretations that I see, or translations, they something is just a little bit off. I don't know what, I can't tell you exactly, but just intuitively, just something is off about it. So I don't know how authentic that they are. So those translations. So until I could see them myself and translate them, which probably would be never, I really can't speak to the authenticity of them. Let's see. Let's see what Logata says. What would you say to a skeptic? I wouldn't say much of anything. I don't like to try to convince people about this information. So my information I put out for the people who want it and want to come and get it. You know, so they're already looking for it. So skeptics, and believe me, I'm a skeptic about a lot of things. But I'm not a salesperson, so I don't try to convince people of things.
And Azul Jai asked, do I use Vedic or Western? I use Western astrology, Placidus system.
All right. Let's see. And a Spirit Man says, you did a great job on my reading. Thank you. Okay, Spirit Man. Now, who were you? Well, maybe you don't want to share that, but thank you for saying that.
I'd be wanting to shout you guys out, but I can't recognize your YouTube names. You know, I know you by your government names. So I'll be like,
right. Who is yeah, we know them government names.
Yeah. But I appreciate the compliment nonetheless. Thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. All right, guys, we're coming up over an hour here, so we're probably gonna look to shut things down. We want to thank everybody for being here tonight, and all the people that gave gifts. And Martha, thank you for that $100 gift. That was the top gift tonight. Woohoo!
Yes, so, Martha, thank you. And everyone else who donated. Greatly appreciate you all.
Yes. And everybody that was here. You guys, we love being here with you guys and love you guys questions and asking the questions. Y'all always make this like a really, really fun chat. And we so much appreciate that.
Most definitely.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to shut it down. All right, Voche, you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Yeah, thank you all so much for coming. Once again, as my dad said, it's always my pleasure to be here with you guys in live. Even if I'm not in the face, I'm always in the chat. And I just love the good vibes. You know, at the beginning, we always just give a disclaimer about, you know, no negativity. But to be honest, you guys are just so amazing and we attract such a great group. So, you know, I just really appreciate all the vibes you guys give and your presences are felt. Your love is felt. And once again, thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
All right, guys. All right. Y'all have a good night, okay?
Good night.
Good night.